I probably don't got it no more. I got I still got the Pro, but I don't got like the most expensive package no more.
I'm always trading from my MacBook, and when I'm trade, I can't get these apps to download on this MacBook right here. So that's why I asked you.
Yeah, bro, I would just download Zoom and if you in a one person session and you have the free version, ain't no time limit, so you could just do your thing. You could go on Zoom, record it, and then it downloads the recording straight to your computer and shit. So
Okay, appreciate it.
I'll show y'all two of my best trades and some of the worst ones too and shit.
Now your very best and your very worst. You got to pick one, Drake.
Oh, that's hard. Well, shit, it's probably this not so 100 trade then.
And we need to know why that was your best trade and why that was your worst trade. Just for the week. Don't go back the whole month.
It made the most money. Well, shit, I don't know. I can show you this one. This Nas 100 trade. This shit boring. I'd rather show the GU trade. Okay. Nas 100 one was boring. It was just regular shit. This one was cool because I use a buy limit. I love using my buy limits. Y'all know about the buy limits, right?
Like the how to get in a trade.
Uh, that nah, you got like market execution,
Yeah.
which is like when you just immediately get in and you got
Right.
your orders, you got limits and stops. So you got buy limits, sell limits, buy stops, and sell stops.
Yeah, I know
I
what you're
actually
talking about.
like putting from
Y'all know about those, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I like to use those as well. I try to catch them. Those are actually the best way to take a good break of structure trade. It's gonna bring you in right at the perfect time, and I love those.
Thanks. I'm not too good at the stop ones, the stop orders, but I'm pretty good at the limit orders. But basically, what I've seen is a big ass white cuff on this time frame right here, which is a higher time frame. It might say 15 minutes, but I'm just looking at how much data I'm looking at. You see, this is multiple weeks. So on multiple week time frame, we got a white cuff, we got the spring, sign of strength, the test of that spring. It respected this low, so I knew that. And then it created a smaller white cuff on the intraday time frame. You got your spring, your sign of strength, tested that spring, then this is probably an SOSB, then the real sign of strength. And so it came up during Asian session. Since we respected that low back there and we started putting in a low and then a high and then a higher low and then a higher high, what I figured was that by the time, and then look, and then a higher high, but this high, so we broke structure, so technically we was in the uptrend. So what I figured is that we was gonna go down. So before, and I don't really be trading London because I like to keep my faculties fresh when I wake up for what's that shit called, New York session. So like whenever I trade London, either I'm in it for either I only trade for like the first hour or I place a limit order or a stop order, so I can wake up to the profits. So what I did, I seen that this little supply zone slash order block right here, really I like to call them order blocks. There's an order block right here. So I knew that if it was what was gonna happen, it was gonna induce traders to go short. So they was gonna start going short in the beginning of London to get a bunch of people trapped short, and then the real move was gonna be long. That was my analysis, and I noticed, there's inducing people to go long ever since the end of New York. So everybody that went long is gonna get wicked out and stopped out during the trap move short, and then once the longs get stopped out and the shorts get their little cookie, then the real move is gonna be long. So I was like, okay, the most likely point for it to come to is like right here. So I went ahead and I placed a buy limit right here towards the end of Asia, and I went to sleep. And then that's where I got filled at, and my stop loss was below the swing low right here. And my TPs are time based. So when I woke up for New York, that's when I start taking partials and exiting. Because London session, I just let it do its thing. So that shit just yeah. And so.
And what time was you looking at that in order to spot that?
What you mean? Oh, this Asian session, because I don't trade Asian session. So London session, I analyzed it in Asian, but I got filled in at London. See this gray section right here is London, all the way up to this. So this little part, that's the combination of these two colors, is the crossover. That's when London and New York is active. So you got London session, and you got London and New York, and you got just New York. So I figured I'd get my fill during London. So it pushed into that spot that I chose. I put my stop loss below the low. That shit pushed up. I woke up, took my profits. It was 1-3 right there, 3-1. So my TPs are time based. I don't do price based TPs really. I do time based TPs. So I let it run until the end of the session. So if I enter in London, either I'm taking profit here, or here. If I enter in New York, either I'm taking profit here, or a combination of both. I'll take partials here and take full profits here. Or if I'm in a position that I think is swing, I'll take partials here, take more partials here, and leave only 10% to run. So it just depends.
How do you take time based profit? Like you just wake up and close it, or
Well, look, that's what I was showing you. So this my sessions indicator. This don't tell me nothing but what time it is or what session it is. So London starts at this light gray box right here. If I enter something in London, when New York opens, when this light green box starts, that's a TP point. When this dark green box starts, this is a TP point. When New York ends, this is a TP point. So this is New York open, this right here where it starts to change color. This is London close right here where it starts to change color, and then this is New York close. Because you notice the trends, look, it started in London, dropped all the way in the crossover. If you would have took profits right here, you would be straight. You take profits here, you would be straight. You catch most of the trend if you take your time-based TP. Look, open in New York, you get the high of the day. Then if you closed at London close, you got out right before this retracement. But if you would have waited, you still would have caught the same amount of pips in New York close. Like if you just notice the trends, it starts at New York open. If you would have got out at London close, you would have got out right here at the bottom of the trend. Or a London close, New York close, you would have caught around the same amount of pips. Right here, New York open. It got out at London close, you would have caught that trend. Got out at New York close, you would have caught most of the trend. You see what I'm saying? Like the trend is time based.
I follow this part, but I'm saying is in okay. Let's say it's time for the London to close. It's time for London to close. I'm saying, are you manually going in and closing it, or is it something that automatically bring you out? Yeah.
Nah, they don't got no TPs like that. I wish they did. That'd be dope. But I got a manual. I wish they
Okay,
did.
cool. I got you. This way, I noticed something that like you really hit something like I trade based off sessions like London and I trade for New York. And I noticed that if I go to bed with a trade open, then I'm gonna miss out on my profit because it end up hitting my stop loss overnight. Because I see majority of my trades that I do take that end up losing at some point, it loses because I hold on. And I'm noticing that at the beginning and at the end of these sessions is when I get a long rally, like a big candle that'll weak me out, and then the market will reverse the pattern that you was looking for. How you said you was looking for the buy in the particular session. Well, turns out the market will end up retracing and it'll hit my stop loss and go in the perfect direction for their buy. So it's making sense that you close it in each session and take your profit because I leave too much money on the table. I can admit to that.
Yeah. So you just talked about market manipulation right now, which is what this
Right.
is. So if you was trading your zones, what you would see is you would probably have a zone right here, and you would probably have the zone down here, and you would probably be trading zone to zone, and you would be looking for a sell when it came out of here, and you would catch some pips. But this is
Exactly.
manipulation. It's a trick. The market is tricking you. You gotta think we're trading against somebody. You're not just trading, you're trading against somebody. Who you're most likely trading against is JP Morgan, Chase, these big ass hedge funds. So they have money to manipulate the market. So right here, they most likely placed a huge sell order to trick you out your spot and make you think the market is going down here to reach this zone. But before it reached this zone, it pushed up, pushed you out your spot and kept running. Like if you watch the rest of this day, it keeps going. But and then a little bit more into the next day too. So this was the real move. This was a cookie. But that don't mean you couldn't be profitable taking this because this is pips. It's just the same. It's the same. It's a pip. Catching pips here.
Right.
You just gotta know when to close your shit. That's it. But like if you want to catch the trends, notice like how the trends really run. Like look, beginning of New York all the way to the end of crossover. Like you'll know you caught the real move if it run the whole session. Like look, here's another trick right here. You probably trading zone to zone right here. You see this right here. You probably trying to take it down to this low right here. You enter during agent session, you drop. You could have caught those pips for sure. But if you're trying to catch the swing move or the long term move or just for this session move at least, like that's the actual move. It's the cookie. But this a big ass cookie. So it just depends on how you manage your trade for real. Nothing don't work. It just depends on how you managing it and like the lens you see it through. But just notice like they're gonna induce you to go short for the session to really go long. Or they gonna trick you to go long for the session and the rest of the day to really go short. You see what I'm saying? Or they gonna trick you to go short right here. Look, even this right here. Oh, bro, if you was watching that shit real time, like watch this. Watch how that shit look on a 5 minute chart. This shit gonna be funny as hell.
Real choppy. It looked like a good move on the 5 minute. You will see a good impulsive move to the downside.
Right. Exactly, bro.
It,
Yeah, you seen how this made a low, then this respected this high, and then it's moving, and then boom, oh shit. Damn, you like, oh, I gotta get in. This shit going short. And then lo and behold, when London start, look what really happened though. That shit, that bitch took off.
so much manipulation. You could see the manipulation.
Exactly. That's pure
Like
manipulation right there.
market makers don't always do what they gotta do, but actually, if you measure out some of those moves, what I've noticed is that okay, let's say you find your particular point of structure, and the market makers they send it down to a particular point. It's really a different point in the retracement that it's sending it to. These are all structured levels that markets sometimes push down to.
Facts.
All right, Dre, hit us with your worst trade this week.
Shit. The worst was
Hey, hide your watch list so your screen will be a little bigger.
so what?
Hide your watch list on TradingView so your chart will take up more screen.
Take up more? What you mean?
Yeah, just hide your watch list.
Okay, hold up. This was the 19th actually. It was the previous day. Oh yeah, it was this shit right here. All right, so basically, uh, what happened for this? I think I sold this shit. Let me see. Yeah, I kept selling too. This was my worst trade, not because I lost, just because I kept using the same loss size after I lost.
Where are we looking
So
at?
like,
Oh, okay.
I took a false signal. It wasn't really like how my signal's supposed to be, but I just like twisted it in my head to make it to what I thought it was. So like usually I'm looking for what I thought it was, a liquidation during London, but this spiked up during Asian. It came and respected it during London, so it didn't even like, you know, when you just want to trade so bad to do something, you just make some shit up sometimes. That's what happened. So basically, this shit came up here, tapped into here, so I sold into this manipulation right here. This is a trick before the real move, so I got caught by it. So I sold like 30-cent lot size. That shit stopped me out, and I sold again, and I sold, like it stopped me out like in here, I think. Then I sold again, stopped me out again, and I sold again, and then it stopped me out once it broke past here. But it was my worst trade because I kept using the same lot size when I lost. Instead of scaling down, I kept using the same one, so my losses kind of increased dramatically instead of my losses decreasing every time I lost.
So let me ask you something real quick, bro. I don't mean to cut you off. Going back to the beginning of it, what part of it wasn't in your setup to where you knew you did something wrong after the fact? Like what let you know looking at it in hindsight where you went wrong in the beginning? Because you said you made something up in your head. So what's the plan supposed to be?
This move right here should have been up here.
Why?
Because that's a liquidation. I should have waited for a liquidation. Like this move right here. This move right here ain't liquidate nothing. Because retail got stop losses all right here and all right here. So there was no stop losses. There was no stop losses to get hit.
So you looking for a shakeout first. I see what you saying, liquidation. My term is shakeout. I see what you saying now.
Yeah, so if this would have been up here and it would have clipped that, then it would have sold for the rest of the day. But since it was down here, it's still part of this. It's still part of this trap. It's all still part of this trap. It came down. This was, and the scary part about this trade, though, I shouldn't even have traded this day because there was, well, I mean, I could have because realistically, the setup happened just in the opposite direction of what I was trying to force it to do. Because like the overall trend was a downtrend, so I was looking for more sales. So I tried to just force a sell, but realistically, they got these stop losses down here got pushed out when this price came down here. Then it came up, then it respected these lows. I should have seen once it started taking off after respecting these lows that this was the real move. But I was so focused on trying to catch a sale because of the overall trend that I ain't really like key into what was really going on. And then, like I said, the reason it was my worst trade though was not because of that. It's just because I kept using the same damn lot size after I kept losing when I was supposed to scale down.
So you was adding into it?
Well, I'll get stopped out and then I add a different position.
Oh yeah,
exactly what I did this week, bro. This is exactly what I did. I went back and I looked back at my trade because I took a big L this week, and I noticed something. Yes, I did take an L because of the direction that I was, but I realized that if I wouldn't have used such a higher lot size, like, okay, I was in one position, but I still had faith that it was going to continue selling. I doubled what it was worth in the beginning of the trade. I went higher and higher each time, and I kept getting stopped off. So I feel you on there.
Right.
I feel like that's something like a bit of greed that we have to overcome.
Yeah, that's a fact. To increase my expectancy though, it's just like this right here. So this is what I did. I entered this trade right here. And then once London close happened right here, I banked about like $700 off this trade just from this small move. And I closed, like, usually my system dictates that I'm supposed to only take partials in London close and let it ride out until New York close. So I took my partials, but then I seen like this right there happen. I was like, oh no, let me close all this. So I closed it all, but for the rest of the day, that shit just fell off the face of the planet. That shit dropped like a motherfucker. And so to increase my expectancy, I just gotta let my winners run because as you see, I caught like 1/4 of that move, or probably like 1/3 of the move.
Okay, so we know that you need to let your winners run. So my question to you is, what steps are you actually gonna take or implement to do that? Because it's easy to say that, but in the heat of the moment, when you see that money, you don't know what you're gonna do. Because you're gonna be, man, the emotions gonna either say, man, hurry up, take the profit before it come back, or shit, you gonna get greedy. So how you gonna separate the two and what you gonna actually do in order to, like, what plan are you gonna implement to let your profits run if that's what you're saying you're gonna work on to increase your
Just
expectancy?
just follow my rules because I just didn't follow my rule. Like my rule, if I followed my rules, I would have got out at this bottom end right here at the end of New York. I would have caught that whole move.
Okay, getting out at the end of the session.
Yeah, it's because I got out at the London close right here,
Mm-hmm.
but my rule says only take partials at this London close and to let the rest run into a New York close. But
Mm.
I didn't do that, so that was
Right,
my
right,
fault.
right. So you got a good plan. You just need to stick to it, basically.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. So I'm glad to know you already got a plan in that regard. All right. So what's your one goal for next week? I know this mean finna end.
Yeah, we can get back in it though. But my goal for next week is just let my profits run and make sure I stay on top of my pre uh pre session routine.
All right.
So I'm gonna be
I'm writing
texting
this
y'all in the
down so next
morning.
time we talk, I know exactly what you said you was gonna do, and I got this on recording. So if you don't do it, I'm gonna go back and show you this recording where you said this was what you was gonna do. Real talk.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna be hitting y'all in the morning before the session and shit too.
All right.
In the
So you
mornings.
said your steps to improve, follow your plan, which is letting profits run until the next session close or till the session close, right?
Yeah,
All right.
but shit, y'all wanna end this and hop back in, and I'll let one of y'all be hosts.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
Y'all see my screen?
Yep.
Sir.
All right. Trey, you can see my screen and hear me?
Yeah,
All right. Boom. So y'all know I trade intraday a little faster than y'all. I'm on the tick chart, 1,000 tick chart. Let me make this global. Global. All right. What was Monday, y'all? 18th. All right. I don't think I took my first trade of the week till Wednesday, which was, I don't know if I'm gonna go all the way back. All right, so my best trade this week was this trade right here. I'm gonna go skip forward to it. So, can y'all see that? Y'all see my screen, right?
Yeah.
All right. So my best trade for this week was this short that I took right here. I'm zoomed out right now. I'm just trying to show y'all overall what was going on in the market. Uh, it was my best trade because early this morning I took a loss. So right here, let me zoom in. I came in and got long at this 200 inside the bottom of this range, but the structure was actually turning bearish. It was setting up for a reversal. So I kind of got a head and shoulders pattern. And then if y'all look, my tick read, which is, indicating what the stock's doing on a tick by tick basis, as it was making new highs, it wasn't, my tick wasn't making new highs on the day. So I wanted price and tick to be in line with each other, which they weren't. And my trend was sitting above one. That was our bearish reading. So I still tried to take a long, and I ended up taking a loss early that morning. But long story short, this is my best trade because usually I wouldn't trade no more the rest of the day. But then we turned around and we came and retested the bottom of the head and shoulder. So I had a bearish bias, and then we came into my supply zone on bearish divergence. And I still took the trade even though I was down for the day. I usually, y'all know I try to take like one trade a day, but I still seen this and I took this trade on full size, and it ended up making money. But I executed pretty much flawless. That's why it's my best trade. So if you look at price, it pushed into the supply, made a higher high. I got that clear bearish divergence on MACD, and then on my tick read, I got that bearish divergence as well. And boom, soon as I got that engulfing shooting star, I was in at the market, and shit, it ended up running up about 4.5, 4.25 point take profit with really I took no heat on it, and that was right after taking the loss. So a lot of times we can revenge trade, but for some reason I just had like I was in a good mindset after I took this loss, and I turned around and seen this, and it played out so smooth. Like I had to jump on it, and I was just happy I did. So that'll probably be my best trade of the week. Not only because I executed flawlessly, but because I was still able to think clearly after taking a loss. I used to struggle with it, but like I wasn't even looking at it like I was down. I was just like, damn, I just learned a lesson. Shit, that market showing your internal showing bearish divergence. You know why that trade didn't work. Move on, and then shit, literally like what was that? This happened at 9:07. This next trade was at 9:30. So about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes later, I get my setup chance to redeem myself. Boom, executed. So that was my best trade. Um, and I'm gonna go show y'all my worst trade. I think that was the day before or the day after. Let me see. I know y'all looking like, damn, the S&P sold off. It showed it. Damn, where my next trade at? Hold on. It may have been that trade right before it, or I think the day before. I'm trying to see. Fuck it, I'm gonna just use. This was my worst trade. I took it. This was yesterday. I scaled down on it. Let me see. Where the execution at? Boom, right here. Um, this was my worst trade because I really didn't follow my plan. So my plan is when the market shows bearish reading or it goes into a range, get short on a higher high and bearish divergence. If you look, this MACD really wasn't showing bearish divergence. Like this right here, this was the first test. Boom. So that was that high right there. I'm looking for the MACD lines to be pointing down on a higher high. They weren't. It was just as much strength, even though it did end up working. The candle I entered on, it wasn't a bearish reversal candle like I like it to be, and that's because I was actually looking at this chart, the full size S&P, and it didn't even look the same. So if y'all pay attention on Friday, what is that? What time was it? It was like 8 something on Friday. Let me see exactly what time it was so I can show y'all. It was at 8:52 on Friday. I think this Friday right here. So boom, I was looking at this chart, and this is why I got in. I was so excited to just take a fucking trade that as soon as I seen this dark cloud cover, this is it right here. I got short, and usually I wait on the tick below it, but if you notice, number one, I'm trading the micros. I should be looking at the micro chart. that was the first thing. And then second thing was I just passed over looking for my bearish divergence. So this was my worst trade in a sense, but it was really my best trade because it let me know I need to work on my technique. So if my technique would have been proper and I would have followed it, first it's structure, zone, and it's divergence. That's the first thing I look for before I look for the pattern. If I would have said I'm looking for divergence first, as soon as I seen this strong push up and no bearish divergence, I wouldn't even looked at these candles. But my technique got a little faulty, and that. But the volatility, I don't know if y'all remember, volatility picked up Friday. So that kind of is what led me to get a little trigger happy. Like it was moving a little bit so fast that uh I went back to kind of like my old ways, and that's kind of skipping some steps. And that just come with practicing the right way. Like even when I'm back testing, like going over in my head, what's the process, so I can ingrain that. So in times of high volatility, I can just rely on my training. So it was my worst trade, but at the same time, I learned the most because shit, it just taught me, you know, don't be trading this chart, but you're looking at this chart because them candles gonna close differently. If I was looking at this chart, I wouldn't dare enter on a candle that looked like this, and I'm trying to go short. Um, so that was my worst trade. Some steps I'm gonna take, some incremental steps I'm gonna take to raise my expectancy. Um, which I got all this stuff right here. Right now, these range bound trades I'm taking, they actually got an expectancy below one, but I haven't took them that much, and I haven't been taking them the same. So like, as y'all can see, as y'all can see, what I was about to say, like this trade right here, I didn't even take that the same way I took that last one I showed y'all. Like this last one I showed y'all, uh, right here. If I take it that way every time, that expectancy gonna go up. But on the one I just showed y'all, it didn't look like that. I didn't have that clear bearish divergence. So some incremental steps that I'm gonna take is just making sure I come up with the solid rules for the range bound. Cause my pullbacks, I got a positive expectancy on those, uh, but not on my range bound because number one, I haven't took them that much. You see, I only took this 9 times on my on the short side, but I haven't even took them the same way. Like I just been doing random shit. I ain't even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. I've been doing random stuff on the short side in the range, and then on the long side, I only took it 3 times. So to get these numbers up, basically take them the same way every time. Take them with the same amount of size, and get 10 trades under my belt, taking them the same way. And that's how that number gonna go up. And so my one goal for next week is to execute flawlessly on these trades, not even really focus on the P&L, just flawless execution. Coming up with distinct plans on where to get in, where to get out, how to let winners run, and sticking to it. So next time we speak, y'all should be asking me that I execute flawlessly. And in order to do that, I'm about to sit here and back test and come up with a plan on how I'm gonna take it each time. So I don't leave nothing up to discretion. And man, that's pretty much it. I still finished green for the week and made a lot of mistakes and still finished up for the week. So it was real positive to just let me know like, you can still make money even when you bullshitting. So tighten up and really see what you can do. So that's where I'm at with it, y'all. Flawless execution. Fuck the money, focus on the process. I know it's so easy to say, but nah, that's really what I'm on this upcoming week. So y'all gonna see me turning man robot when it comes to those executions. Like I ain't leaving nothing up to my feelings, bro. This shit need to be in the plan, set in stone. And man, that's really it.
But when you focus on that P&L, you start making different decisions.
Come on now. That's how I was thinking about Friday. Looked up, I said, man, I don't want to lose what I made this week. Get what I did? Lost. Got too excited. So, but shit, when I was focused this week, I wasn't tripping. Man, I was doing good. So that's what I'm on, y'all. That's what I'm on. Terrell, I know
So
you
this
probably
week,
ain't got your
this
trades
week,
in front. Go ahead,
this,
Joe.
This week was profitable for you then?
Yeah, it was a profitable week, P&L wise and experience wise and learning wise. Shit, I learned more. Even though I made money, I learned more this week than in a lot of the weeks because I really was kind of paying attention to what I was doing. So, man, and that expectancy number just kind of opened my eyes up. So yeah,
Yeah,
bro. That's pretty
facts.
much it.
This week I closed red. I lost all my profits this week. Um, I took a bad trade. I took 2 trades this week. I took 1 trade on Monday, and it opened up. I secured profits that day. Woke up Tuesday. I got into a trade and which okay, like I said, I entered in the wrong direction, but also I sized up in the wrong direction on probably 2 or 3 extra trades I took in the wrong direction, and it caused me to lose a good majority of my account.
You sized up every time?
I sized up every time. I took the trade higher with no stop loss. Actually, what happened too, the trade actually was about to hit my stop loss. It was 2 points away from hitting my stop loss. At that moment, I took my stop loss away. I remember being in the moment, I took my stop loss away. I said, man, I still have faith that this is, I actually was like, this is manipulation in this moment. When in reality, it was the market doing what it was supposed to do because the previous day I went back and checked that trade in which, like I said, I secured profits on it Monday, and I came in on a big exhaustion candle. And what happened was the market exhausted out after that candle, and it took some time for the market to go back into the trend. So once price finally went back into the trend, which was a sell, I had already started losing profit because of I sized up in the wrong direction. So this is what really caused me to lose a majority of my profit this week. And it made me sit down and focus on risk management, in which I found an app that I feel is very helpful and useful as far as calculating your risk. You can just put whatever you have in your account, play with those numbers, calculate your lot size. It even goes with, okay, let's say I want a 10 pip stop loss, but I want to only lose 5%. It will show you what you actually looking at as far as how to set that real risk up. So my goal for this week is to really focus on risk management and to stick with the actual plan. Don't take sit-ups that's not in my plan or my strategy to take.
All right, then. So let me write that down.
It was
Your
nowhere in
goal
my
is to
plan
not
to
take.
take
You said your goal is what, Terrell? Cause I'm gonna hold you to
focus
this.
on proper risk management and sticking to my actual trade plan.
Now, one goal. You need one goal that you can focus on. That way, that's the
Risk
only
man
thing you think about. Risk
risk
management.
management.
All right. So in that, what exactly are you saying? So you saying risk management, but like, what's the plan to focus on that?
Plan to focus on it is to come up with the actual percentage as far as risk that I'm willing to lose as I enter each trade, and to come up with a stop loss. And when I set my stop loss to be to have the integrity to not remove my stop loss. If it hit my stop, I keep it going.
All
That's my
right.
plan.
So I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow and see what you come up with about that percentage you gonna risk, and then when we talk next week, I'm gonna see if you stuck to that. That's basically what you're saying, right?
Right, right.
All right. So you need to have it by tomorrow, cause bro, I'm gonna ask you, or Sunday evening.
I'm gonna have it probably Sunday morning when I get off work.
All right, then. Well, man, it was a good meeting, y'all. We're gonna chop it up. And Dre, you said we gonna start the morning market updates, right?
Yeah, let's just all get in the chat like an hour before the market open.
All right. So
Hey,
what? That's like 5 a.m. for you, right?
5:30.
5:30. All right. So that's
what's
set.
market open for us? 7:30.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no. We open at 8:30, Terrell, but we gonna get in the chat at 7:30.
All right, that's cool. And hey, sometimes like it be hard for me because I work at Walmart. It be hard for me to kind of always text. So mind me, I'm just telling y'all, I'm gonna start recording a small video or dropping a video in the chat. It worked better.
That'll
All
work.
right, bet.
All right, man. We gonna chop it up Sunday evening or Monday morning.
See you later, fellas.
Good work, man. I'm finna hold y'all to it, man.
All righty.
All right.